With all due respect, sir, I believe this is going to be our finest hour.
This is Group 5. Our presentation is on strategy number 33, repetition and innovation, with Haley, Sandra, and Q. Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Today we're going to be reading a new book, and we're going to be talking about story structure. The book we're going to be reading today is If You Give a Mouse a Muffin. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be reading the book. We're going to create this word game. We're going to be playing this word game today. We're also going to create a new version, and we're going to make a big book today as a class. And you're also going to be able to make your own book. The state of Texas has these things right here that they expect you guys to learn. So at the end of this lesson, you're going to be able to understand the texts using multiple strategies. You're going to be able to predict what happens next, specifically with this story. And when creating your own sentences and stories at the end of this lesson, you guys, you're going to be able to use your background knowledge to make corrections as needed and know and understand reasons for reading. So let's start today with something fun. Can anybody look at this and tell me what you think it is?
Cupcake?
Close. Q, do you know?
Muffin?
A muffin, exactly right. So what we're going to do is I spent some time decorating this muffin. I have blueberries and chocolate chips in mine. What I want you guys to do is make your own muffin, because at the end of this lesson, we're going to talk about a way to post our muffin somewhere in the room, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to pass out some paper for you guys to make your muffins.
Strawberry on mine. I'm doing blueberry.
All right, what we're going to do now, you guys, we're going to go ahead and put away our markers and our colors, and we're going to go ahead and start the book, okay? If You Give a Moose a Muffin by Laura Nemeroff and illustrated by Felicia Bond. Okay, now that we finished reading the book, I want you guys to everybody get up out of your seats, and if you can form a circle on the reading carpet down here, please. Okay, so what we're going to talk about now is the story structure. The way a story is made is called its story structure. Can anybody tell me what you noticed about the book when we read it from our book today? Sandra?
The beginning and the ending were the same.
Exactly right. You are so right. And that, in addition to things, one thing leading to another, that you guys have noticed in the book, that is called a circular story structure. So I have on the board here, what kind of story structure is If You Give a Mouse a Muffin? Q?
Just say a circular.
You're right, a circular story structure. And that's exactly why I have you guys sitting in a circle today, so that we can, repeat the fact that this is a circular story structure. We will get to this chart in a little bit, but what I want to do now is we're going to play a little word game. I have some words here on some word cards, and what I want you to do is you guys can play with these words and kind of look at this sentence right here and try and find the word that you think fits the best. Can anybody read this sentence for me? Q, go ahead.
If you give
Blank,
a
blank. Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead and play with these cards and try your best to try and fit, a word that fits both blanks, okay? So I'll give you guys some time to do that.
if you
go ahead and post yours onto the sentence strip here, and I encourage you to read it out loud to your classmates as well.
If you give a moose a mango.
That is great. That definitely follows the exact sentence structure of the book. I really appreciate your efforts there. And we're going to leave this up so that we can look at it later. The next thing that we're going to do is I want you guys to take this piece of poster board that I'm going to give you, and I encourage you guys to write down one sentence that is the same sentence structure as the story. And what we're going to do is we're going to post them all together and make one big book. And our big book is going to be our own circular story, just like the book that we read today. So everybody can go back to their seats, and we'll go ahead and make our big book.
Thank you.
And if you guys have any questions, obviously I can be here to help you guys. If you need help with spelling or anything like that. Okay, is everybody finished with their sentence and their illustration? Good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these up and I'm going to put them all together in one big book, and we are going to read them all together, read it out loud together, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the title page that I came up with. Sure. Sandra?
Can we sit on the carpet while you read?
Sure, you guys come sit on the carpet. Let's try and sit in a circle pattern again, because remember what we talked about today. Our book is what kind of story structure?
Yes. Circular.
Perfect, circular story structure. So I'm going to read my page and I'll let you guys read your page. What would our class give a moose? Written and illustrated by Group 5. Page 1, Sandra.
I would give a moose a milkshake.
I love your illustration there. You have a great moose.
Thank you.
And your sentence structure is correct. Good job.
I forgot my period.
Oh, you're right. It's okay. We can work on that. We'll just make sure we can make revisions on our writing. Just like we were talking about earlier today, we are going to be able to revise our writing as well. Page 2, Q.
I would give a moose a mop.
Perfect. I like that. That's very creative. We also need to put a period there too, but we can work on that. I appreciate y'all's efforts. Let's go ahead and read Miss Haley's page. Miss Haley would give a moose a movie ticket. And I put an exclamation because I was excited.
I like the drawing.
And that is the end of that one. What I would like for you guys to do now is we are going to be talking about the chart that we have here. And can anybody tell me what you might think this chart could be called?
It looks like a circle.
Right, Sandra, you are so right. And since our story structure is called a circular story, our chart is called a circular story chart. And what we are going to do today is we're going to start with the beginning, and we're going to go around and show how one event leads to the next and leads to the next. And all the beginning and the end are the same, just like what our circular story structure is. So let's start with Q. If you give a moose a blank, what happens next? If you give a moose a...
Nothing.
Perfect. Then he'll want some...
Jam.
Good job, Sandra. And towards the end of the story, it ends up with saying the same words as the beginning. So can you tell me, Sandra, what we would fill that word in with, or that blank in with?
Nothing.
Perfect.
It reminds me of a clock.
That is a great observation. It is almost just like a clock. The story structure chart goes all the way around in a circle, just like our story. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and have you guys go sit back in your seats, and we're gonna have one more project that we're gonna be doing. You guys are gonna go ahead and make your own version of this story if you give a moose a muffin. And this is gonna be done independently. So I want you guys to make your own version and make sure you're paying attention to the same story structure, the circular story structure that we talked about today, and make sure that you're using the vocabulary we talked about today and the word structure as well. And if you guys have any questions or anything, then I can help you with that. So you guys can start on your independent books, and once we complete that, what we're going to do is go ahead and post our muffins in a special spot. So here's your paper to make your independent book. Alright guys, y'all's books are looking great. What I'm going to do now is I'd like you guys to all take your muffins, and we are going to post our muffins in our reading center, and we are going to post them in a circle so that when we're reading with our friends or reading independently later in our reading circles. I like the way you guys are independently working, are doing so well. Your books look like they're coming close to the end. So I want to go ahead and close this lesson today with a way to go ahead and think about what we've learned. Today we have repeatedly gone over different ways to learn about our text today and the structure of our text. So what I'm going to have you guys do is we are going to post our muffins that we made earlier in our reading center so that whenever we're reading with our friends or independently throughout the year, we can look at these muffins and remember if you give a moose a muffin. And remember that it is a circular story structure. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to put my muffin in the middle, and you guys can post your muffins in a circle around, okay? That looks great. What a perfect little circle there.
Go. Go away. Read them books.